Hi and welcome to VeloGPS. In this video we're going to show you a custom adaptation we've made to our Superstar components out in front mount to enable the mounting of a Garmin Virb action camera. So one of the things that Garmin don't produce is an out in front mount for the Virb. They do have a handlebar mount, but because of its design it does mean that the Virb sits a little bit above the level of the handlebars. You can rotate it forward to lower the level of the Virb, but we wanted something that was a little bit lower and a little bit sleeker and ahead of the handlebars. So what we've done is we've removed the quarter turn insert that comes inside the Superstar components mount. So this just sits in here rather than this Virb attachment, and that's held in place with a little 3mm diameter Allen bolt that fixes into this threaded hole at the bottom of the mount. So having taken that out, we've then taken a flat-based Garmin Virb mount, one of the adhesive mounts, and cut all the way around the edge to make it circular, filed it round, and then we've taken some wet and dry paper to just smooth it off on the edges and make it look nice. So having rounded that off, we were then able to insert that into the opening that was left from the edge quarter turn insert in the Superstar components mount, and we drilled a hole through the Garmin Virb mounts. We drilled a 3.5mm hole through the centre here, and then you'll just see that we've countersunk it so that the replacement bolt sits below the level of the serrations that are here. So the serrations are what helps hold your camera a little bit more secure and a little bit more stable. So the countersink drops the bolt below that level, and the bolt itself is a 3mm diameter machine bolt, and the replacement we've used is 12mm long. So you'll see that it does just ever so slightly stick out below the level of the mount, but it's almost imperceptible there. So in theory, what you could have done is you could have used the mount, and we'll just show you this with the Garmin mount, and literally just stuck one of the adhesive pads on top, but we didn't think this was a particularly elegant solution. We wanted something that looked a little bit more as though it was off the shelf. So I think we've just about hit the mark here, and it certainly achieves the low profile look that we were after. It means that the camera's a little bit closer to the mount rather than being raised considerably above the level there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop it onto the bike, we're going to attach a camera and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the mount in place on our handlebars, and you can just see it here with the Allen bolts on the top part of the clamp. And then we have the Garmin Virb adapter sat on top of the out in front mount section here. So quite a neat looking solution. So what we'll do now is we will pop on top the Garmin Virb cradle. So just to show that, we'll just try and do it without putting our hands in front of the camera. Make sure it's mounted straight. Okay, so there you can see the Garmin Virb cradle sat on top. Okay, so we've just mounted our Garmin Virb up on our out in front mount, and you'll see that it sits nicely just around the level of the handlebars. So the base of the Virb is just about level with the top of the handlebars, so it's not sitting too high, not too obtrusive, and it's keeping the handlebars free of any clutter, and it's far enough forward that your brake levers as well should probably remain out of shot, so a nice clear and unimpeded view. So here we can see the great thing about the out in front mount for the Virb is it leaves plenty of space on your handlebars or stem for your Garmin Edge. Okay, so just something we'd encourage you to spend a little bit of time getting right before you actually stick your Virb mount down firmly into the Superstar components mount is actually making sure that you've got the mount pointing front and centre. And we mean with that you've got a number of serrated edges here, and these correspond to about 11 degrees worth of rotation. So if you're unlucky and stick this down without checking, you might find that you've got the camera pointing ever so slightly off centre, and it is only marginal, but it's worth spending some time now to get it right. And one of the tips we'd recommend is if you look at the Virb mount before you remove any excess, you'll just notice that you've got two little lines corresponding with the front and rear of the mount. And if you actually use those as a guide and place a little nick maybe with a hacksaw blade in the top of the mount here, or mark it with something else, you've then got a very clear indication when the excess has been removed as to where the front and back of the mount are. So you can then, once you've removed the rear of the sticky pad, slot it in place and be reasonably confident that it's pointing in the right direction, because once this is actually secured in place with a pad, it's going to be very difficult to remove.